Today, we're going to be continuing our journey with the prog band Yes. For the very first time, we're going to be checking out Close to the Edge. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another album review / reaction here on the channel. My name is Patrick Musilek, and this is my cousin Cody, no relation. And we are very excited because this is our second Yes video. So if you are here and this is your first video with us on the channel, know that we reacted to the Yes album before this called Fragile a few weeks ago. It was back when I was still in the hospital, but I'm back at home now, so thank you very much. If you're someone who's been with the channel for a while, you'll know everything that's been going on. But if you're new, I was diagnosed with cancer, went through the whole transplant process, back home now. It's been very nice to be at home. We're getting back into the swing of things, of recording things, and Yes is one of the bands we wanted to record at least a few more videos of because we really enjoyed Fragile. However, we didn't have 100% positive things to say about it, but I do feel like overall we liked it. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I was excited to listen to more Yes, I guess.
Yeah.
There was some weird things about that album. Maybe it wasn't the best one to start with.
Remember the fish. Never forget the fish. But it was Fragile was very interesting because it had like 3 what I would consider like real songs on it, and then a bunch of other songs, and there was a couple other like band songs, but then there were, I think it was 4 songs spread out across the album. One that was the vocalist was in charge, one that the bass player was in charge, one that the keyboard player was in charge, one that the drummer was in charge. And so those songs weren't to us very enjoyable. I don't think we really liked any of them. Although
it was kind of fun, some of them. But
right. I like
goofy stuff too, but like, it was just kind of felt weird on the album.
Yeah, I was a little bit harder on it, I think, than Cody was. He was more accepting of it, but I was just kind of like felt like they were wasting our time a little bit with some of that. But you know, it was interesting. And I want to say we got a lot of really nice comments on that video. A surprising amount of more positive comments than negative comments, I would say. On our channel here, we say what we feel about things, and oftentimes I end up saying things that people don't care for very much, especially if they've loved the band we're listening to for 60 plus years and they've been like, you know, they're just some curmudgeonly old 75-year-olds for some reason wasting their time watching our channel.
We can say the most positive things possible about the Beatles
and people
then still just get hate comments, but the Yes people were nice.
And we did learn a lot about the band. I did learn the bass player is like one of the like driving forces of this band. People really enjoy the bass aspect of this, which I think we kind of knew beforehand, but I think I commented several times like, wow, there's a lot of bass in this. The bass player is moving around a lot. It's very bass heavy. And so, but Cody and I both really enjoyed the final track on Fragile, which was longer, is the longest track on the album, and it was a little bit more spread out, it felt. And less chaotic, although there were bigger parts to it. And when I went back and edited the video, I realized that I did tend to talk over that one a little bit more and not appreciate some of the things that I think I should have. So Cody, when we're listening to this one, I want us to pay attention specifically to background vocals and how many like layers of vocals, like big lush vocals, because there were some surprising parts on there that I didn't notice when we were listening the first time. And again, this is our first time both hearing this. So for you watching, try not to get too frustrated with us. We can't hear everything for the first time. And on our channel here, we listen and tell you how we're feeling in real time. And, you know, if I hear a production thing I dislike, I'm going to talk about it because I want you to be able to hear what I'm talking about. If there's something I really like, I want you to be able to hear that as well. So we're going to be talking over the music. I think we said it really well in the previous video, we are here to learn about Yes and to hear their music for the first time. This is not us teaching the watcher about Yes. We are not Yes experts at all. I would say I'm really fairly new to the prog rock, progressive genre in general. So we are relatively, you know, new to all of this. And so this is about us learning what we're going to like and what we don't like. And for me specifically, it's about listening to the production that was available at the time. This album we're going to be listening to is from 1972. Their previous album was 1971. So we're just 1 year later. It's a very differently structured album, so I'm very excited for that. But again, I want to just make it clear that like we are not experts on this. I did research on this album to look into it, but when I started looking into it, I kind of started to feel that I was reading things I shouldn't be reading because I want to be surprised while we were listening to the song. listen to the songs for the first time. And so I didn't read anything at all about the second half of the album. So if there's any really cool production things or something that's like, oh, wow, I wish you would have known this, that we would have enjoyed it so much more, I decided not to do that because I read about the first track, which is, I think, the longest one on the album.
Yes.
So anyway, all I'm saying is that we are not super big experts on all of this stuff, and we're here to learn, and we will always appreciate positive comments that tell us about the band. If we have questions that we'll probably ask throughout the video, we'll be talking about different things we're hearing, like, oh, what's that? I wonder how they did that. Please feel free to let us know, because we like to learn about these bands and things. And for right now, our plan is to do at least this Yes video and maybe move on and do I was thinking we would do this one of their most famous albums with, of course, Owner of a Lonely Heart on it. But we could also do a different one. A lot of the comments on the previous video were telling us we needed to listen to the Yes album, which was the album that came before Fragile, and then Fragile and Close to the Edge, that those are like the 3 quintessential Yes albums to listen to.
Okay.
So if we get a lot of views on this and we get a lot of positive feedback, I think we will probably go back and do the Yes album as well. People were saying that that's their, like, Fragile is sort of their transition album into what they would become, but the Yes album was still what they were before.
Okay, cool.
So I don't know if you're reading all those comments, Cody, or not, but that's what they were saying. And so I found that kind of interesting. It would be neat to hear what they sounded like before Roundabout and everything.
Yeah.
And now we're going to be getting what I think a lot of people consider to be the best of Yes. So very excited for that. I did want to say that I've since we're back home, I talked about this a little bit in the last video, but I did go and find some of my Yes stuff. I could not remember which Yes album I had, and so this is the Yes album that I have. It's called Drama.
Oh, never heard of it.
Right, and it is
It looks like I thought that was an Asia record.
I know, it looks very similar to Asia record, and the back even too, almost more so.
Yeah. Huh.
And so this is cool. I don't remember where this is the one I got at that record store in Omaha, Cody, when you were there.
Oh, cool.
So this is it's from 1980. I don't even know what the songs are on here. It doesn't have the track listing on the back. I'm sure it does in here. There's 6 songs. White Car, Does It Really Happen, Machine Messiah, Into the Lens, Run Through the Light, and Tempest Fugit, or something like that. I also have, I wanted to show this off because it's so cool. This is that John Anderson project.
Yeah.
It's called?
It's so hard to read.
Yeah, very, the Oleus of Shimmer Down, Sun Glow or something. I don't know. But it's the coolest artwork, like literally of all time. It's this sweet, the booklet is awesome. It's got multiple pages of this like story in there.
And so he's like the front man of Yes?
Yes, John Anderson is the singer for Yes. And then there's multiple other artists for this, but it's just John Anderson is the primary artist for this.
Okay.
So I wanted to show that off. I think that's really cool.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
awesome.
I have one more Yes album, and I believe, Cody, you have this one as well.
I think I do, yeah.
Yeah. So this is just, of course, 90210, 90125, whatever. I always call it 90210.
Yeah.
And this is just I believe the regular copy. I don't think it is a re-release. It's from 1983, it says, and I haven't added it to my Discogs yet to like finalize like what version it is, but. And then I did want to say I do have the CD of this. I have the version that was released in, I'm not sure when exactly, but it's a remaster re-release version, and it has 6 bonus tracks on it. So this is kind of a neat thing. And then I can't believe I forgot this, Cody, when we were talking, but I totally forgot I had this. But I have this set of it's a 4-disc set called the Yes Years, and it's a compilation of Yes songs. So it goes through their whole career up until 1991 when this was released.
Oh, wow.
And it's just like, I mean, I don't know.
That's cool. Like,
yeah,
that's a weird. Was it 4 separate albums, or it came in a box or something?
I'm assuming it came in a box.
Huh. Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, it's It's really cool. Oh no, I forgot to turn the air conditioner off. But it's really cool, and I'll turn the air conditioner off in a little bit. So it was. I just was excited to find that, and I was like, oh, I saw it on my shelf, and it's been there for
Yeah.
years,
Was
and
that
they're
from
yellow.
Hastings?
No, that was from a garage sale, I think.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was a really good find. So yeah. So I think it originally comes in a box, but I don't have the box or anything like that. So I thought that was kind of cool. Did you bring any Yes stuff?
I did not. Did I show my albums last time? I think I may have.
Well, because did we record Yes when you were at the hospital?
No,
We
I was
recorded-
here, and I had Fragile at least.
Yes,
I've got
you
Fragile.
did show some
I
of them.
swear I have the Yes album. Like that was like one of the earliest vinyl albums I bought, and I haven't seen it in years. So
That's right.
it's
I
too bad.
remember. I remember you saying that.
But yeah, I've got their live album. I think I got recently, maybe with you. It's like a triple gatefold thing. It's
Yes.
really cool.
And it's considered. A lot of people were also saying that is like their best album. Their Yes,
Okay.
whatever it's called, Yes songs or
Yes songs. Yeah.
Yeah, something
I
like
think
that. And it's like that's considered one of their best albums by their fans. So,
interesting.
and then one last thing I want to say before we get into talking about this album a little bit before we get into the music was last time we were talking and I was talking about my experience with prog music, prog rock, prog metal a little bit. And I completely forgot about some of the bands that I do enjoy that are prog bands. At the time, I think when we did Fragile, I only mentioned Frost with an apostrophe as being one of they are the band that got me into prog music, I would say. And they're very cool because they're a mix of electronic music. Like there's most of it is electronic, but then with incredible music, like technical musicianship of guitar, drums, bass, and keyboards as well, which is what Yes does, but they're very different bands. And so I did mention that, but I completely forgot to mention what is slowly becoming one of my favorite bands of all time, and I'm just discovering this band now, but there's a band that hopefully a lot of people who are familiar with Yes will know called Big Big Train. They are a British prog rock band. They've been around since the early 90s, though they changed their sound a little bit, but they are becoming and may become, if I continue to listen to their music and it continues to be as good as everything I've heard, one of my favorite bands of all time. Absolutely blow me away every time I hear any of their music that I haven't heard before. And it is impossible to buy any of their CDs for less than like $20 online. It's absolutely insane. Even though they've been a band through the 90s when they were producing CDs like crazy.
Yeah.
But I haven't really spent too much time listening to their earlier stuff. I heard some saxophone solos on their earlier stuff, and I was like, this is not for me. But that reminds me too. We had a few people comments on Fragile suggesting other bands that we should listen to, and I went and listened to a couple of them because I thought it was really interesting. And I found, and I wish I could remember this, and I'm very sorry, this isn't going to be very helpful, but someone suggested a band, and then the guy that sings for that band, that's this guy's solo stuff. And I went and checked it out, and every single song has like 12-minute long saxophone solo on it. And I was like, some of it was very cool. Like it was very slow because I mentioned I really wanted something that was slower and more like sort of like piano based and just slower, longer drawn out parts, and not necessarily so sporadic. And people recommended this one commenter did a really good job wording his comment, and I checked it out and I really liked it until the saxophones came in. So I just have to make a blanket statement here, folks. I hate the sound of a saxophone. If Yes ever starts using a saxophone, it will destroy me while we're listening to them because I despise a saxophone. I've never heard a saxophone ever played in tune ever because I don't think there's ever been a saxophone in tune. And I think it just sounds like some sort of a creature dying when you play a saxophone. Like it sounds like a rabbit or something that was caught in a trap or something, and it's terrible. I think it sounds awful. And so I don't know what's wrong with me. I think it's kind of the same way my mom can't eat anything that has what's the spice that people don't like? Cilantro in it. That's me. Saxophone is my cilantro. So anyway, okay, so all that crap out of the way. Let me go figure out how to stop our air conditioner. Okay, sorry, it takes me a while. I have to walk one stair at a time.
Yeah.
I assume you didn't have any great revelations while I was gone.
I went through my Discogs to see what Yes albums I actually own, and I don't think I own that 90125. But
okay.
I do have the one that came before that, the one with the naked guy on the cover.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know any songs on that, so
Okay.
yeah, I kind of have a eclectic mix. And then I have a cassette of, it's like Big Noise or something it's called.
I actually have that's so funny you remember. I actually have a cassette of the 901251
Oh, nice. You got the whole
somewhere
collection.
off to the side. So it's
You got 3 copies and I got none.
yeah, I've got 3 copies.
Anyway, should we talk about how bad this album art is?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Because I don't like it at all. It's
Yeah.
like it's so boring.
Well, it especially considering like what we know their artwork can be like, and you said their previous
Yeah.
album Fragile was like one of your favorite album covers of all time.
Yeah, yeah. And I think maybe this was done by the same guy. I don't
It
know.
is.
Wikipedia lists the cover designer. And apparently this is where they came up with their logo.
That's what I was gonna say. I think
And you
that
said there's something on the gatefold, so maybe it's cooler in person.
the gatefold's awesome. Here, just
Okay.
type it. Just type in. Go to Google and type in yes. Close to the edge artwork, and it's like the vista of the water falling over the edge of like the world or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. It would be neat if that was the cover of the album, but that was the inside gatefold. I think if I had to guess, they wanted to focus on the new logo that the guy created for the band. They call it the bubble logo, I found.
Okay.
And so I'm guessing this was intentionally kept very minimalistic.
Okay.
And that the focus of it was supposed to be the Yes logo, but I don't know. If you go up from here, every album is like this crazy space vista with like
Yeah. I mean,
you know,
that's what I
like
want with
crazy
prog
artwork.
rock, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And the typeface is cool. I'll give them that. And I like the logo, so
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm glad you brought that up though, because I do like it when we talk about album artwork and stuff, because I don't think people give that enough credit for being important. So now, let's continue talking about this album, and so I was kind of, like I said, I was kind of disappointed when I was reading about the album because one of the main things I read, Cody, is did you read the wiki article for this album too?
No.
Okay,
I did not.
one of the main things I read was that the guys were kind of fighting the whole time. And that's what the title Close to the Edge comes from, that they were all kind of close to the edge. The drummer quit after this album was finished. And I was reading about like specific arguments, like apparently the songs are structured in such a way that they are very segmented. So like they would say, okay, we're going to have a section of the song right here that's like this. And they would do that and finish it and then say, okay, what segment should come next? I don't know. There's a part later on that could be this. And it was, and from what I was reading, it sounded like there were 2 of the guys that kind of took over the whole project and were kind of dictating how everything was going. And the other guys, when they would come in and they would like see that like, oh my gosh, they've done so much. And like, we had no input in this. And a couple of them were saying that they were felt like they were just being treated like musicians for hire. Like they were just supposed to come in and do their part rather than contribute to the writing. And I did specifically read about how the bass player was frustrated with the drummer for not wanting to play drum parts that went specifically with the bass part. And I'm like, how could you have a drum part that doesn't go with the bass part? It's like the core of the whole band. So I'm kind of just reading those types of things kind of makes me a little scared that this is going to be a really pretentious album and that it's going to be everybody fighting for themselves, like trying to say, look at me, I'm so important in this band, rather than them all feeling like they were together and like this for the betterment of the song rather than the betterment of the individual instrumentation, you know?
Yeah. I'm surprised to hear that considering how like highly regarded this album is.
Yeah.
You said the drummer left after this, but they kept making albums. So maybe it was just
they just got another drummer.
problem.
It could be. I know that they were talking about. I just read a couple things like that, basically, that they were having some trouble and that it was like really, and I've read this about so many artists making albums over the years. Like it's a thing, you know, bands just, you're together with people for years and years. You get to be a little bit popular, you have a little bit of money to work with, and then it's just like, you know, how do you deal with that kind of stuff? That's why it's amazing that some bands last so long.
Yeah.
You know?
And we'll probably have a long discussion about this later on in our Beatles series.
Yeah, yeah, because they were so short-lived and but so
Yeah,
prolific. So,
and that's a really highly documented thing of exactly what happened, and there's that whole documentary, and
yep.
it's
And
kind of
this,
amazing that they made what they did before
yep.
they broke up.
And literally the same thing about Metallica. I mean, they were
Yeah.
in Depeche Mode too. They were so close to breaking up multiple times. There were whole records that they made where like certain people didn't even show up the entire time, and like, the same thing with Metallica with Some Kind of Monster. Are you familiar with that?
Nope.
They made an album that was very divisive, and people really to this day still hate it because of the way it sounds. And they made a documentary of them making the album, and it was supposed to be like this thing that they did in just like a couple months, and it spread out to like 3 years, and they just were so mad at each other, yelling at each other, and they were making such dumb decisions, and the album sounds so awful. It's so terrible, and it's yeah, so it's the same thing. It's the universal story of bandmates not necessarily getting along.
Yeah.
But when I started reading about the individual songs, though, when I started reading about the first track, which is the very long one, Close to the Edge, I read a story about how they created. There's a section somewhere in the song that is sound effects and tape loops.
Okay.
And we were reading a little bit about them using tape loops on Fragile and how they were all supposed to go home and create loops and stuff and whatnot. Or maybe that was Beatles. I'm getting it kind of all mixed up. But they did that for Fragile. They created their own little loops and their own things. So on this song, on the first track, there is a section that they use like nature sounds and like birds and water, I think, and stuff. And the article was saying that it took them so long to make that they ended up with a 40-foot long piece of tape that they had to like feed into the machine.
Yeah.
And
it was just cut and pasted together.
Right. That's how you made loops back in the day. You'd copy stuff and you couldn't copy and paste it. You physically copied and pasted it.
Yeah.
And so they made this 40-foot long thing. And when I was reading about that, I was like, man, that's cool. I like that I know that, but I kind of would like to hear that section of the song without knowing it was in the song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And so that was when I stopped reading about the individual songs. And so I was like, oh, I kind of I don't know. One other thing that I read about a bunch, and it was even in the like intro article of the album, was that they had this debacle where a take, they created this perfect take of one of the instruments. I think it was bass or maybe organ part, and it was this one section of one of the songs, and I don't know which one it was, but they created the perfect take, cutting together all these, like spending long time. I also did read that they would spend long, like ridiculous amounts of hours in the studio, like working 40 hours at a time, and that multiple times people would come in the morning and they would be sleeping with like music just blasting, like on a tape loop, just like constantly going for like that. And the people would just be there like slumped over the board, like passed out.
Wow.
And so it was that kind of a thing where they were doing all this crazy work on it. But I read about how they created this, like the perfect edit, but before they added it to the track, at the night crew, the cleaning crew took it and threw it in the garbage, and they went and dug through all the dumpsters and everything outside the next day, and they never found it. And so they ended up taking a less perfect take and putting it in the, or no, they found it, but some of it was unusable. So they had to splice it with the non-perfect take, and there's like a clear error that you can hear in the song where like something just comes in when it's not supposed to or something. So we'll have to try to notice that. But, I imagine with something like this, it might be hard to tell whether something was intentional or not. So we'll just have to see. But I could see as a musician that was something that would bother you for the rest of time, every time you heard it, so. But from what basically lots of turmoil during the making of this, lots of turmoil. And just lots of, it wasn't as bad as Pink Floyd. No one was suing anyone as far as I know. Yeah. But who knows? So. That's pretty much all I got for the history of this and everything, so we can just kind of get into it, which I'm very excited to do. I thought, Cody, we would listen. Last time we listened to I think it was the 2003 remasters of Fragile. Or we listened to the 2008 remasters.
I don't know.
We did. I just scrolled down and looked. So for this one, I think we'll do the 2003 remasters of the Close to the Edge Deluxe Edition, not the Super Deluxe Edition. So there's 3 versions of this on. Well, I don't know. What do you think? We could listen to the non remastered version, or we could listen to the 2003 remaster. I didn't look that up,
Yeah.
but I was thinking if we want to listen to the original version, we can. I just was figuring we could listen to the two bonus songs, America and Total Mass Retain. They're both like 4 minutes. One's 4, one's 3. So that's not a big deal. But
yeah, let's do the 2003 one.
let's just try it and see what it sounds like. You know, I think we determined we liked the 2008 version much more than the 2025 version. So that was why I wasn't even thinking about the 2025 version in terms of
You're
Fragile.
right. We didn't like the newest one.
Yeah, and they didn't give us the option to listen to the like unmastered stuff, or not unmastered, but the original master. So let's go to the 2003 remaster, and if you're ready, we can just give this a start.
Sure.
Ready? Because we've only got 3 songs to listen to here.
Yeah.
So this is going to be quite different for us. Normally we pause in between songs and we discuss and everything, but we're not going to really be able to do that too much here because it's only 3 songs. So this has 9 million plays on an 18-minute long song, which is pretty crazy to me. So I think that's pretty awesome. And it looks like there's 2.5 million on the one before this and 55,000 on the new 2025 version. So combined, that's like well over 10 million plays.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome. So, all right, this is Close to the Edge. Maybe we should get out the. Let me look real quick just to see. I want to know when it switches from one thing to the next. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so yes, Close to the. I do. Do you want to know the lengths of each part or not?
Nah, just let me know when we're switching.
Okay. All right. So this is
If it's not
there's 4 parts to this. This is Close to the Edge, part 1, the solid time of change, part 2, total mass retain. Okay, so there you go. We don't even need to listen to that. Part 3, I get up, I get down, and part 4, Seasons of Man.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yep.
This is Close to the Edge off of Yes's 1972 album Close to the Edge. In 3, 2, 1. Starting off pretty quiet. All right, well, maybe it's starting off with this 40-foot long thing. Oh. Kick drum sounds terrible at this point. It's just a put.
Yeah.
So I think that's a guitar. Like an acoustic guitar, maybe? Might be electric guitar. Doing the thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, the other thing is an electric guitar. I'm going to turn mine up a smidge. Okay, that's kind of cool. So this is part 1 of the solid time of change.
It sounds like the synth on Temporary Secretary.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very chaotic.
Yeah.
Nothing has low end in it. Nothing. There's a little on. Hold on. Can we pause it?
Sure.
Let's pause it in 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Okay, we're right at the 3-minute mark. We just switched over to a different part there.
Okay.
I'm gonna go listen to what this sounds like on the regular version.
Okay.
Just give me 1 second. All right, Cody, we're switching over to the other one. Okay?
Okay, so
It sounds like a fuller mix to me.
okay.
It sounds like a fuller mix to me with a bit louder or less loud on the sides, maybe. I don't know. So we're going to
just the standard.
just the one with 3 songs on it.
Okay.
And we're going to go to the first track and we're going to go to we'll go back to 245. So go to 245. Or there. Yeah, I'm right at 245.
I'm ready.
You ready?
Yep.
All right, in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry, everybody, if we just did the wrong thing, switching to this, but whatever. I thought it sounded better to me just in my little analysis. We're still in part 1, Cody.
Okay. Little.
We're still in part 1.
Okay.
Idiot, I'm so dumb. Wow. A lot of slapback echo on stuff. Wow. I think it's one of the worst sounding kick drums I've ever heard. Like, worst natural sounding kick drum.
Yeah.
I think the bass player was like, no low end will come from the drums. You will have no low end in the mix.
Probably why
And the drummer was like, screw you, I'm out of here.
It sounds like a reggae beat or something.
It's an interesting groove. It's... Remind me when this is done to discuss the low end, okay?
I just find his vocals so easy to listen to.
Yeah, I agree. We just entered part 2.
Okay. I wouldn't have guessed that.
It just feels like verse 2.
Yeah.
I agree. I think his vocals are nice.
Yeah.
It could be too shrill, but it's not.
It's almost like an old man singing.
They're definitely doing that, like the thing the Beatles were doing, where it makes it sound like there's multiple of them singing together.
Okay.
Like the little delay
Double
on the
tracking
vocal thing.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to hear a little bit more of that later on when we're listening to some Black Sabbath. I like that synth sound there.
Yeah, me too.
Or, I'm sorry, not a synth. People get mad at me. That keyboard sound. Synths weren't invented yet.
Now, don't say that, because they were. But
Not according to our comments.
There were no synthesizers in 1971, you dummy. No synthesizers.
well, when did they think Switched On Bach came out? That was like 69.
I think they'd call that not a synthesizer. I don't know. Okay. The snare is... The drums are placed really interesting in the stereo mix. I love that on the far right.
Yeah.
It's like a beeping, like a Morse code almost.
I'm trying to follow the lyrics. They're just kind of nonsense.
Oh, I'm not even
to
trying
me.
that.
I'm reading them.
I know that they did say down by the edge, close to the corner or something, close to the edge,
Yeah.
down by the corner is like the cornerstone of the whole thing.
Okay.
So that sounds like a sitar and a bass or something playing together. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I feel the same way I did about Fragile. Like, the stereo image is strange to me. It's like the outsides are too loud. It should be more of a focus on the middle, but the outsides are too loud. I don't know if that's a mastering thing, like a remaster thing or what. I don't know.
Interesting.
But I'm just getting familiar with what music from this time period sounds like, you know? I'm curious when we get to Beatles if that's what happens, but we're listening to modern mixes of
Yeah.
that.
That's true.
This is really cool, though. A little dripping of water. Very cool.
I'm trying to think. A 40-foot loop. It would have to be 15 inches per second, I think. So that's probably like 30 seconds. Of a
I
loop.
was literally going to have you do the math. That was one of the things I was going to do in this video. I was going to look up how fast a tape player goes, and
Yeah.
it's inches per second. Then you got to multiply it by feet.
I think they'd be using 15, and so it should be like 25, 30 seconds.
I'm sure it was just the beginning, that beginning part.
You think? Okay.
Yeah.
Because this part's kind of
this is
groaning,
great.
but it's-
I love this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. One thing I don't know, if someone can let me know in the comments, is it just John Anderson doing all these vocals, or is other members of the band singing too? There's got to be more than just him.
Yeah. Because this sounds like John Anderson, but the other guy doesn't.
Yeah. And I'm sure live they all probably sing, because they have like huge harmonies.
200 women watch one woman cry today. The eyes of honesty cannot change. How many mysteries do we deceive each day? I get up, I get down. was written all along the page. How old will I be?
The outside vocals are not John Anderson.
Right. Yeah.
I get up, I get down, I get up.
Oh, sorry, we're probably way in a different part of the song. Probably I get up, I get down. Oh, I read about this. They recorded this in some church in London.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Oh. The lowest frequency I've ever heard in my life came from a church organ.
Yeah.
Oh, easily.
I get down, I get up.
The trickling is still in there, which is very cool.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what's the thing that... What makes this part of the song... Part of what we heard before, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Why not just separate into songs?
Yeah.
And so I like that they're doing that, keeping it all one thing. See, I wonder if like the bass player and the drummer came in and were like, you just added 7 minutes to this song where I don't play. This is awesome. Awesome. Oh. Pretty abrupt change there. Ding,
Are we at part 4?
This is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So he did 3 dings before that. The bass, I really don't like the way bass sounds. You can clearly tell what the bass player was trying to do. He wanted his bass to be the most obviously recognizable thing you're listening to, and it just sounds like a constant fart.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like what I think of as yes bass.
The keyboard's very cool. Oh! Sorry, I hit my head on the mic. Very cool stereo image on that. I don't think that felt too long. Did you?
No.
Ooh, kind of circusy.
Yeah, I love that.
Wow. Completely different feeling vocals. I like this whole thing. I like that it came back to the chorus. Now, if it fades out, I'm gonna be pissed.
I've had 18 minutes to figure out an ending to it.
Back to that loop from the beginning.
Yeah,
The birds.
yeah. So there's the little.
That might even be reversed. Like they're reversing exactly what happened at the beginning, so it's a full circle thing. Circle
Maybe
theory.
the birds are forward, but it's something sounded a little reversed there.
Are you sure the birds are forward?
I think so. Yeah, to me that felt like one song, one cohesive thing.
I agree.
But I definitely liked part 3 the most, which is where they got into the church organ. They got the "I get up, I get down." That was my favorite
Yeah,
vocals.
I mean, I really like the the minimalist, not minimalistic, because there was a lot of stuff happening, but I like the down tempo stuff in the middle, like when they brought everything down.
Yeah,
And I think maybe one of the reasons for that is because I didn't care for the way the drums or the bass sounded production wise.
Yeah.
And I wanted to talk about that because if there's probably people who are yelling at me when I said that, but we are so used to we listen to modern music. Cody and I do. We listen to old timey music a lot too. I like bluegrass, for God's sake. I was just listening to an album of the Carters from like the 20s not too long ago. But like, you know, we like modern music, and in modern music, the function of a bass, the function of low end, is to be enormous. It's to be a consistent low sludge that just is underneath everything. Every kick drum you're supposed to feel inside of your heart, right? You know, you want it to shake you, to rattle you, the kick drum.
Yeah.
Same thing with other low tune drums like toms and whatnot. And then the bass, pretty much nowadays in modern pop music, they're not even really doing notes. It's just root tones that are just low synth pad type things. Some songs will have like a really cool definable bass. You know, like I think of some of Taylor Swift's songs have like the songs of hers that I like. I really like her album 1989, and she has some really cool synth basses on there. And I just say that because I know a lot of people are familiar with Taylor Swift's music, but maybe not Yes fans exactly. But like it, you know, like obviously there are bands that still use bass and all this stuff, but for the most part, when you're talking modern popular music, the low frequencies are just supposed to be enormous, and they're just supposed to basically, it's like the bass pedal of an organ or something. Like it's literally just doing the root, and that's it. Like there's no part. It's just low, the root tone. And I personally don't mind that as much. I actually was thinking about this the other day. I think that what pop music is right now, I almost kind of like what it is the most, because it's basically like my favorite sort of style of electronic music, but with terrible vocals and really like it's like someone took some of the music that I really do enjoy and stripped anything creative from it at all and stuck it over here. But like I really do love stuff like Lord and things we've talked about before, where it's essentially just bass and a drum beat, and then vocals on the top. Vocals are so important in pop music nowadays, and sound effects and bleeps and bloops. Like there's really no melody in the music at all. That's not really a thing anymore. The melody exists only in the vocals, and everything else is just a supporting system for the vocals. Yeah. And so when you listen to something like this, it is almost jarring. Like it's shocking kind of, because it's like there is no low end in this. And I think specifically the bass player was like, I don't want to sound like a bass. I want to sound like a lead instrument. And how do you do that with the bass guitar? You add distortion and you turn up the high frequencies. So you hear everything he's playing, every pluck of every string. You know, if he wants to do complex harmonial stuff on the bass, you can't tell that's happening if you have all the high frequencies, or low passed out of a bass guitar, which is what all modern bass guitars would sound like in almost every genre of music. There are some forms of metal music where they do use a lot of distorted bass, and that's how you get a very wide sound. But almost every single time that you're hearing that, you're also hearing the direct in round, low frequency only bass tone along with the distorted bass tone. If this had that, but they weren't doing that technique back in the day where you would just, when you record bass nowadays, you always just record direct in bass. And then which means you just take like a chord, Cody, that goes from the bass right into the console. And then there's one track that's just direct in bass using a DI. Okay. And then the other track might be however the bassist wants his bass to sound. And then later on, when you're mixing the album, you basically just turn that track off and you always turn up the direct in, because that's how bass usually sounds best. Not always. Yeah. But like that, when you do that and you have that signal, it loses all definition. And so this bass player wanted his bass to be heard because he's playing a lot of intricate and complicated stuff. Sure. And so you can't have definition in a bass guitar unless you turn up the high frequencies, add maybe some distortion, drive it a little bit more, and then you get rid of some of the chunky low frequencies. And then the drum was just a no, that was too much low frequency. Sorry, I was into the microphone. There's no low frequency like that. I'll EQ all that out later. There won't be any plosives in my mic, hopefully, but it was basically just which is terrible. Terrible. Yeah. There was a lot of frequencies in the snare drum. It sounded really nice, but they didn't do that with the kick. It's not the worst kick I've ever heard. That is on True Defiant, a Demon Hunter album. That's the worst kick I've ever heard. I can't listen to that album. It's so terrible. And there have been several albums like that. And this is not the worst thing ever, but it's very disappointing to me to know that if this album were mixed like those Beatles ones, you know, if they went in and did all the modern stuff, this would sound way better to me. So to me, we're getting into a limitation of the time and the techniques of recording and everything at the time. And the way the bass player and the drummer wanted their drums to sound, to me, is disappointing. So I have said this before. We have talked about doing Tool on this channel so many times. And the reason I have been pushing back against it is because I'm afraid that I'm going to get bass playing overload and I'm not going to enjoy it as much. I am not a bass guitar person. You know, that's why it doesn't bother me as much in modern music when there is no bass notes. It's just bass root tones. I think there's some cool bass stuff for sure, but that's so few and far between that when I hear stuff like this where the bass player is trying to be like as technical, as complex as the guitar player, to me that is not the function of a bass in a song. Interesting. So like it's like distracting to me and I don't care for it. Now I know the point of this, what they're trying to do is that they're trying to feature the bass in those moments. And I just feel like it's doing so much that there's just something in the middle of the song that's just like an engine revving or something that is not driving the song forward. It's almost halting the song because it's so distracting.
I agree that at that one point, when you pointed it out, it's like, this just sounds like a fart. It did sound bad to me. I didn't like what they were doing there. But to me, the iconic sound of Yes is the bass, sometimes the keyboards, and then the vocals, what's his name's vocals. And, you know, if I'm going to like do an a cappella version of Roundabout or whatever, I'm going to sing the bass part, you know?
Right. And
like, that's such a key part of the song. Yeah. And I like that, I guess, but
and that's totally, I'm just saying my opinion about all this, by the way.
Sure.
And I think that to me is kind of one of the reasons I've avoided prog music for so long, because inherently, when I think of prog or progressive music, I think of good musicianship, right? Yeah. And a lot of bands that have a great guitar player are just named that guitar player. Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Stevie, whatever the other famous, Steve whatever, famous Stevie Wonder. But you know what I mean? Like, and so what you do is you have instrumentalists in your band, if you're Jimi Hendrix, that support you, right? But when you're a prog band, it's understood that or at least it should be, that every person in your band is up to snuff as technically as any other instrument, right? And when that's the case, you're going to have musicians who have dedicated their entire life, right, to learning their craft and becoming the best bass player they can be. I'm going to tell you this, it's true. It's a joke in the music industry. Bass players and drummers are a dime a dozen. And the reason that is true is because most bass players do not spend their entire life learning the craft of bass. They play the bass well enough to play what the function of the bass is in their band, right? Same thing with the drummer. So just inherently by being progressive music, I expect there to be more emphasis put on every individual instrument. And when that's happening, you end up with people fighting over who gets to be featured at any given moment.
Interesting.
And that is one of the things that I don't care for at all about progressive music. Like the prog bands I was mentioning earlier, like Frost, that's basically one guy composing everything. So he doesn't have, that's not an issue with him, you know?
I was going to say, because there are bands like that where I want to say like Steely Dan, which I guess that would be considered prog, but where it's, what's his name? It's Donald Fagen is kind of the main guy, and everyone else there is kind of in service of whatever he wants. That was my impression of Steely Dan, or like ELO, where it's Jeff Lynne, and it's Jeff Lynne's ELO. And I think maybe when you have something that's this complex, you want to have a individual mind behind it that has a vision, you know?
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not, again, this is my opinion. Like, to me, it feels like some of the stuff is fighting against itself. And this is not based on what I was reading before. This is what I was scared of when we started to do more prog stuff. Because this is one of the reasons I've kind of resisted some of the stuff that I had heard in the past. And so what I like is when a band can be like, okay, here's the section where the bass player can be featured. And it doesn't have to be like 2-minute bass solo here, 2-minute guitar solo after that, 2-minute drum solo after that. That's why I love that section in the middle. It seemed like no one was fighting for anything. Everything was sweet and crispy and tasty off to the sides. And then the vocals came in and did their thing, and it was very nice and lush. And that felt very pleasing to me to listen to, very pleasant, right? Whereas, and this is probably what they're trying to do. The beginning of the song probably was supposed to feel chaotic and energetic and everything. And so they did what they were supposed to do. I'm just saying, for me personally, as taste-wise, this is kind of the thing that I was afraid of when we, and that's like jazz too. Like when everyone's basically soloing the entire free jazz and crap, like not free jazz. That's like, whatever. But I mean, talking like technical jazz. Yeah. There's a reason I don't like that kind of stuff. I've been trying to listen to, recently we got a couple of like Charlie Brown CDs, right? And Charlie Brown music is some of the most iconic, Peanuts music is some of the most iconic music like ever made. I really think like Linus and Lucy may be like one of the greatest songs of all time. I seriously think that. But like, I bought a CD the other day that was like Charlie Brown, but done by these famous jazz players. Yeah. And it's unlistenable garbage. It's terrible. Now every time I heard a saxophone, I turned it off immediately. But like even just the songs where it's like piano, upright bass, and drums, it just is, exactly what I'm talking about. Just soloing the entire time. And it's just like you're losing. This is so ironic that it's coming from me too, because I hate, like, generally I'm not like a touchy-feely, like losing the heart and soul of music or whatever. But this is like so far in the other direction that it's like you're losing any enjoyment out of this. Like, I feel like I need to pause the song, solo the bass, and just listen to that to get what I'm supposed to get out of the bass, rewind the song, isolate the guitar, and just listen to that. And maybe that says more about the way I tend to listen to music as a whole, trying to like consume as much of it as I can, like first listen. But like, I don't know. I hopefully someone listening is kind of getting what I'm saying, and you can like very carefully word why I'm wrong in a comment, because it's like, let me know what's going on. there, because I feel like that's probably a common problem people have with prog music.
Yeah, it sounds like you want to have a grasp on what all the instruments are doing at any given time.
Yeah,
And if
I
one
do.
thing's doing something crazy and the other one is like doing something that's also demanding your attention, it's like it's hard to follow.
Yeah, it is. Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I wonder if you would like, I mean, because certainly there's a lot of prog music that doesn't have a lot of bass. I wonder if we should do. I always say we should do Emerson, Lake and Palmer sometime, but to me that's all. I think of Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I don't think of multiple instruments fighting. I think of keyboard, and that's about it.
Which is so crazy, because if you asked me what Emerson, Lake and Palmer was, I would have no clue. And
Yeah.
the fact that you just said Steely Dan is a prog band, like I was like,
I don't know.
never. I don't know if
It's like
that's
jazz,
the case.
It's like jazzy rock.
But I like
right?
literally don't know any Steely Dan song, like at all. Other than we
Yeah.
talked about them as having really high quality music. And I
Yeah.
have one Steely Dan album, and I tried listening to it once, and I was like, whoa, what is this? It was some album from the mid '90s or some crap.
I
and
guess
was
to
like,
me it's like jazz influenced rock, which I guess is what I would kind of say prog rock is. So I don't know. People would probably say it's not prog rock. I don't know, but it's definitely not just straightforward rock and roll.
And we talked about that with Fragile. I was like, I
Yeah.
like blues influenced music, and I get afraid when it's more jazz influenced, because I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't know if I can understand this. So, all right, sorry, we talked for a long time there, but I feel like that was a good conversation.
That was appropriate for a 20-minute song.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're moving on to side 2.
Okay.
We're going to be listening to now the biggest song from this album, which is And You and I. This has, let me go down here to this. This has a huge amount of plays, 8 million here, 8 million here, and 8 million here. Oh, is it the same amount of 8 million? It is. So they must have,
Oh. Weird.
whatever. Let's not question it. It doesn't matter. The amount of plays doesn't matter. One of my fourth favorite album last year had like 25 plays on it because it was so fantastic, and no one still heard that poor guy from Czechoslovakia.
No, but I'm wondering if they've put the same
exact
file.
mix. I
Yeah.
wonder.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be.
Right.
I can't extend it to make it. Or I guess I can extend it a little bit. It says 2025 remaster, so it's not the same file.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And it's 10 minutes 12 seconds long. Yeah, and it's not even the same length. So, all right, but still, this is, I believe, one of Yes's biggest songs, And You and I. And let's just go for it. It's 10 minutes long. And You and I in 3, 2, 1. Okay. They're doing
Some
the
studio banner.
same chords as the roundabout or roustabout or whatever the song's called.
Roundabout.
Yeah.
I don't think
It's
this
just
is
good.
one of
It's
their-
just acoustic guitar harmonics is what's
Yeah.
happening there, which is beautiful. Let's go. And the organ in the background really low, but with reverb on it and kind of floating. They're basically making a synth pad with an organ. And it's a single tone as well, so very cool. Whoa.
Oh, cool.
So I don't even think that's a bass guitar in there. Doing that bop, 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 bop. This might be 12-string acoustic guitars, it sounds like. Or multiple acoustic guitar tracks. Just like with Fragile, the vocals could be louder, I think.
Yeah.
As a foundation left to create the spiraling, a movement regained and regarded both the same. All complete in the sight of seeds of life with you. Changed only
Ooh, that guitar tone. Nice chorusing effect. Interesting. Wow. So you think that's a synth sound, or a synth, not sorry, a string sound on a keyboard?
I have no idea.
There's a lot of layers here.
Yeah.
I wish the vocals were just a little louder. You really got to dig into the mix to, like, get them.
Yeah, I agree.
That could be 12 string as well. Dry. Let's go. That's what I want.
Yeah,
I want that. Dude, it's dry and I love this.
Yeah.
Reverb gone.
Insane teacher, be there reminded of the rhyme. There'll be no mutant enemy we shall certify.
I love this.
Political ends, our sad remains will die. Reach out as for will taste begin to enter you.
Wow.
I listened hard but could not see. Light tempo change out and inside.
Like, you don't need all that spankiness in that bass.
Training on to lose his
the part would be serving the song just well enough without all that in there. Yeah. Wow, listen to that piano go.
And you and I clear crossing the shapes of the morning. And you and I reach over the sun for the river. And you and I glide clearer towards the movement. And you and I gold over valleys of endless sea.
All right. Before we get into our thoughts, my repairman is here.
Okay.
2 hours later.
Okay, so I think that was maybe my favorite Yes song we've heard so far.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's-
It doesn't top probably even the 3 songs on whatever
Fragile.
But I guess as I was letting it sit with me, the things that kept going in my mind were the vocals and the lyrics. Well, the lyrics were kind of nonsense, but the refrains and stuff. And then that like clean acoustic guitar was
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a 12-string acoustic guitar, and so
Okay.
they have a little bit more of a distinct sound. Do you know
Yeah.
what a 12-string, the difference between a 12-string and acoustic guitar is?
I mean, I could probably guess the difference, but no, I don't know how the difference in sound. I wouldn't know how to tell
Well,
what you're listening to.
It might not be exactly what you think, but like
Okay.
a 12-string guitar is literally just a regular guitar with another string really close to each string tuned to the same tuning.
Oh, interesting. So
Yeah,
it's like
so
double up everything.
It's like doubling the strings. Yep.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
you
that's
can
not what I
still
would've
play
guessed.
the same chords and stuff on it. It's much more it's difficult to play in a different way.
Yeah.
But it has a very full sound, and because you can never get 2 strings exactly tuned to the same, exactly. There's a bit more of like a different sound to it, and it sounded very much like the few of 12-string acoustic guitars I've recorded before.
Okay.
And so that was really nice. I don't think it was a 12-string. Maybe it was a 12-string at the beginning, and they tuned each string, and that was what the sound was that we were hearing, and then there's some of that. But I loved it when the song got dry. All of a
Yeah,
sudden, it
me
went
too.
dry, and you could hear the vocals better, and the guitar was better, and there was like a little organy part in there. It was very nice. I really liked the background organ part with the really nice guitar parts over it earlier in the song. That was great. I liked the vocals and everything. The second half of the song I think was better than the first half, but I really liked the whole thing. I like the acoustic guitar breaks in the song. I do like the first track, and I think you're right. I did like the last track on Fragile quite a bit. I needed to listen to that one again.
Yeah, I am having a hard time picturing them just because
I know
when I
that's the
hear
thing.
something once, it doesn't stick in my mind, but I
Yeah.
remember liking it.
That was Heart of the Sunshine. I need to look and see if that one's on here. See, this song, I could this is so silly, but when we were listening to that, I was trying to see if one of these discs from this set, if it would have like a little paragraph about each song or something. I was going to just check. And this song, And You and I, is not on here. Only on the last disc there's a live version of it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
You said right before we started this, you're like, I think this is one of Yes's biggest songs. That is definitely not true.
Yeah, I thought it was just in looking at it and stuff, but apparently it's not, I guess. But
It's weird because this is one of their biggest. This is one of their highly regarded albums, and it seems like maybe when people listen to it, they listen to the whole album, or maybe not. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah.
It seems like this is an album for Yes fans. I don't think there's something on there that any of your average person would know.
Yeah. And also the that song, I just want to point out that song did have 4 parts to it as well.
Okay.
I didn't even bother with the where they split and everything, but it did have
Oh, so you have like them labeled as
yes, it's You and I. It's part 1, Chord of Life, part 2, Eclipse, part 3, The Preacher, The Teacher, and part 4, The Apocalypse.
interesting.
Mm,
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't say that on Spotify, but it says that on Wikipedia. So
Okay.
I'm assuming it said that somewhere.
Yeah.
But okay, now we're on to the last track from this album. And like I said, I think we might go back and listen to America at least and see what that is, because I saw that listed a lot.
Okay.
Like a lot of their bonus albums have like some version of America on there, so I don't know what it is, but we'll have to look, because I think there was a version of it on Fragile Super Deluxe as well, or something like I'm not
America
sure.
was released as
America.
a single. Oh, it's a Simon and Garfunkel song. It's that America.
Does it go America,
No.
America, or does it go America? Yeah, coming
No.
again to save them.
Okay, we are gonna have to listen to that because that's something I'll recognize at least.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's go on to Siberian Khatru. And on the deluxe edition, we will not listen to this, but the regular deluxe edition of this album, there is a song just called Siberia, which is a studio run through. So it's just them in the studio, no overdubs, playing through this song. So that might be interesting to listen to, but I don't know. But let's go back. We're going to go to the same album we've been listening to this whole time, and we are going to hear Siberian Khatru. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, this is 8:55. In 3, 2, 1. Wow.
Cool.
Oh, sorry. Whoa. That's funky.
Yeah. That organ.
This would sound so great if the kick had any guts to it at all. playing the snare drum quietly. No vocal in the middle because the bass player doesn't want anything to interfere with him. But the bass sounds fantastic, though. Now we have vocals in the middle. But they're also kind of floating around. I'm really curious if we're going to like this album more than Paranoid by Black Sabbath. We're recording that reaction right after this for transparency's sake, and I'm really curious which one I'm going to like more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Harpsichord.
Let's go. Slide guitar, cool. And then that big spanky bass in the middle. Wonder if he plays with a pick. Probably not. I don't think so. You know what band we could also do? ZZ Top sometime.
Yeah.
I've heard all of their modern albums, but I haven't heard anything from the 70s or 60s or
Said
whatever.
nobody ever.
I love all their from 2000 from 1990 on. Their albums are incredible. His voice has such a cool quality to it.
Yeah, the more I listen to it, I could just listen to it all day.
Yeah.
So smooth and just inoffensive and
Yeah.
unique at the same time.
This is a pretty rockin' song.
Yeah.
It feels more like a song of the times,
Sure.
you know? But with extra stuff, like 2 extra songs attached to it.
It's interesting. So apparently they put out the single for this was You and I, and they put it out as a side, like just a part 1, part 2 on the 45. I
Okay.
would have guessed that this would have been their single from the album.
Ah. Well, but remember, based off of the success of Roundabout, they
Yeah.
had the same acoustic guitar sound in
That's
that
true,
song, so
yeah.
maybe they thought that,
Yeah.
you know,
But
this might
has
be
more
too
of the
different.
bass that was pretty prevalent in
Yeah,
Roundabout,
yeah.
too.
oh. Ah, see, he's playing chords on the bass there, so there's some dissonant stuff in there. Yeah. That's pretty cool, though. It sounds great. Ooh. Little marching snare type thing. It would be hard to listen to this album if you weren't intending to listen to the whole thing, you know?
Yeah.
Whoa. What is that? See, that's what a bass should sound like. It's a keyboard of some kind, though. I love this vocals. That, do that. Almost scat, man.
Yeah.
Some of the keyboards, it's hard for me to define what they're doing. Wow. That's the other thing that kills me. Like, the musicianship is crazy, but there's never any, like, guitar solo section, really. I mean, this is, but it's not like, you know, rock guitar solo. It's like jazz guitar. Which is interesting. It's very cool. It's gonna fade out, ain't it? Oh, yeah. Hey, 1 out of 3. That's a failing grade.
Oh no, that's a third of the songs.
That's not too bad. I mean, I expected all of them to fade out, if I'm being honest. So,
Yeah.
but I'm glad they didn't disappoint me in that regard. Okay, so that was really interesting. A bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
I almost wish they would have reversed those 2 songs so that the first track on side 2 was that one. And then we end, because I just feel like you should always end an album on the slow song, you know, like on the ballad, as it were.
And that was that's interesting because at the time, you remember on vinyl, like that was
You would want
a
that.
trend because you have less fidelity on the on your
On the
grooves.
inside of the vinyl, yes.
But this
the
was
closer
like
you get.
rocking the most at the end.
Yeah. Well, they're making 20-minute songs. They don't give a crap about the
Yeah, I
physical
suppose.
media.
You know, I was kind of reading up on some of the Wikipedia page.
Okay.
I was curious if this, and maybe yes in general, if this was like one of those albums where it's like, oh, it was divisive when it came out, and now it's considered a classic because there was no like singles on it or whatever. But it sounded like everyone loved this when it came out.
Interesting.
Just rave reviews across the board, and it has only, you know, increased its reputation since then. And then I also learned that the drummer went to King Crimson,
Yes.
which
I
is
did read that.
interesting. So
Yeah, I guess I don't know anything about King Crimson at all.
maybe we'll do King. I just got a King Crimson record, so maybe we'll do King Crimson.
Does he have a song? I think they're a band. I don't know if it's a dude named King Crimson.
Robert Fripp is the man.
But do they have a song I would name? Maybe no.
21st Century Schizoid Man.
I think I've heard a cover of that song.
It was sampled in a Kanye song in the.
No, I think
2010s.
Power Man 5000 maybe did us.
Could be. It's
I
cool. It's rocking, and well, we could talk about King Crimson some other time, but
Yeah. I don't know. I think this album was good.
yeah.
Yeah,
I came around to it after like song 2. I was kind of iffy after song 1.
okay. I mean, song 1 it takes patience.
Yeah,
Because
And
there's- I
I'm
mean-
thinking back to it, I'm starting to think that like if I listened to it 2 or 3 times, I would get more into it.
Yeah.
It threw me off so hard in the first 2 minutes of that song, and I was just like, oh,
We were like, oh, I hope the
hate
whole thing
jazz.
isn't like this. Yeah, and then that was
Yeah.
really the only part like that, really.
Yeah.
Everything else was more funky and rhythm-based, and you could grasp it easier.
Yeah,
I love the quiet parts. I've said it before last time. I think that was the best part of this album to me.
Yeah.
In all 3 of the songs. This last song didn't have as much of it, but I really liked And You and I. I think that was a great song. It didn't really have as much of a conventional style, conventional structure as the first song, which I know the first song doesn't have conventional structure because it's 18 minutes. But what I mean by that is it went back to the chorus at the end, at least.
Sure.
And I don't think that And You and I did that. I think it kind of just had different catchy parts, and I don't know if it ever repeated them. I wasn't watching the lyrics though. Usually, if you have a song that's hard to, or when I listen to more progressive music, I like to follow along with the lyrics in the booklet if I can, because it tells me that they're like, I'm thinking of some of the prog metal that I enjoy, like some of the last Allegiant album, I think was phenomenal. And at the time when that one came out, people were praising it for its more, which that is so far different from this that if I showed it to you, you'd probably puke your guts out. But like, it's at the time people were saying, oh, they're finally leaning into their progressive roots, and they use a lot of acoustic guitars as transitions between this crushing like death metal, black metal stuff. And on that album in particular, when I just listened to it, I was like, man, there's no repeating parts. But then when I read the lyrics, I was like, okay, what they're doing is they're doing the part again, but they're just changing how they're doing it. So it's the same lyrics, but like this time they screamed it, this time they sung it, this last time they played the music, but they didn't sing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like the chorus is there 3 times, and it's noticeably the same, but it's hard to tell when you're just getting assaulted, kind of. But with this, it doesn't matter to me as much, especially if you're going to have an 18-minute long song. You know, you're just along for the ride at that point.
Yeah.
It's not about the structure really, but I appreciate so much that they came back to the chorus at the end of that, and I appreciate that so much, and that's why I really liked that song. Plus all the cool parts that were in there. I love that long section in the middle.
Yeah, me too. It felt like a cohesive song at the end of it, and I was worried it was just going to sound like 4 different tracks that they just decided to mash together.
I will say this is going to sound crazy. I do still feel like this album felt a little short to me. Do you feel that way?
I mean, maybe.
I mean, 20 minutes on side 1 and then 18 minutes on side 2. You know, I mean, it's almost 40 minutes. It's 30 whatever, but like, I don't know.
Because you think about it, you think, well, it was, those 3 good songs.
Yeah, right. And it definitely got rid of the fluff from the previous album, which I did not care for at all.
Yeah. And maybe that first minute of that kind of felt like that, but
and
that
like
was it.
I personally wouldn't have minded if they had us like when we listen to America, it's 4 minutes, and I'm assuming that it's a normal song kind of.
It's a cover, so yeah.
So like if that would have been included on this album, I think I would probably like it a lot more. I mean, I'll have to listen to the song.
That
but
would
like,
have felt so weird.
what I mean though is like if there was one song that was more regular.
You think?
Yeah, one of my favorite albums of all time is Kaiser's Orchestra's last album, Violetta Volume 3, and that album is special for all sorts of reasons. But basically, every song is between like 6 and 10 minutes long, except for one song. The point of that album is that it's an orchestra playing alongside the Kaiser's Orchestra band. Kaiser's Orchestra is not an orchestra; they're a regular band, and then they play with the orchestra on that album. And they knew it was gonna be their last album, so it's kind of like a swan song thing. They went all out. But there's one song on there that's the big single from that album that is just like a regular song from like their previous albums that has really there is a little bit, but no orchestra on it. And it's guitars and bass and drums is the fundamental aspect of that song. And like without that song on there, the whole thing would kind of feel a little bit artsy fartsy to me. But because that's there, it's like, okay, this is still this. We're grounding it in this, but look at what we've surrounded it with,
Yeah, I could see that. And I guess maybe some people would say that that's what Fragile was, is you've got some singles in there and it's surrounded by kind of weird stuff.
Yeah, but they didn't, not really though. Because there was only 3 songs on. There was. God, I don't need to do this. There was an 8-minute song, and then 2, then bullcrap, and then an 8-minute song, and then bullcrap, and then a 12-minute song. So there was only 3 songs on that one.
I guess it was kind of like this then, just with some extra stuff.
Yeah, there was definitely
stuck
no
between.
single on there. Everything else on there is kind of whatever. There was Long Distance Runaround, which is a little shorter, but let's go ahead and listen to America. Let's go to the 2003 remake.
Okay, I just gotta search it, I guess.
Oh, you're not looking. Oh, see, when we do these, when we do these, I go to and then I click on albums and show all, and then I can just scroll up and down their whole catalog. That's how.
So are we doing the one with the special thumbnail?
The 2003 remaster. It says deluxe edition in yellow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. This is America in 3, 2, 1.
Let us be lovers, we'll marry our fortunes together.
Totally dry.
I've got some real estate here in my bag.
So does this sound familiar to you?
So I put a pack
No.
of cigarettes
Okay.
I'm trying to think of what the Simon and Garfunkel sounded like, but
Maybe we'll have to go check it out.
yeah.
When was Simon and Garfunkel's heyday? Would have been around this time, wouldn't it have?
60s.
60.
Yeah. I think they broke up by this point.
Oh, really? Okay. Really? I love the dry vocals.
Yeah.
The chicken seems like a dream to me.
Okay, I have heard this.
Oh, I just love dry vocals. I'm sorry.
She said the man in the gabardine suit was a spy. I said, be careful, his bow tie is really a camera.
His bow tie is really a camera. This is about a spy. Interesting. The bass is enormous. Still has that farty sound, but it doesn't bother me here.
Yeah.
But again, the vocals are spread wide to get out of the bass's way. That's not super common. But there are some vocals in the middle.
I think this would have fit in with the album on there. It's not.
What was that?
I think this song would have fit in on the album.
Oh yeah, I think so. Maybe, I don't know where if you would have put it at the end of track 1, after track 1. I like that. It's like a Latin type flavor, which is ironic because it's a song called America. But they could be talking about South America
That's true.
or Canada.
I mean, they're talking about counting the cars in the New Jersey Turnpike. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I'd say we should listen to the Simon and Garfunkel one, but I don't want to ruin your video with a
Let's
copyright claim.
just go there and see.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have never known those are the same songs at all.
Yeah. So.
And I didn't really care for either one. So the Simon and Garfunkel one, I'd rather listen to that. But that is like put your headphones on, quiet, focus on it music. Where I think that's what you're supposed to do with the Yes one. But I don't know if I would ever do that. Yes to me is more of a band you have on in the background, kind of. I don't know. That's weird thing to think about, I guess. Something for us to discuss next time. So
Yeah. Let us know. I'm curious now what people will think we'll like next with Yes. I wonder if we should go back and do Yes,
The Yes
album
Yeah.
or not. But I heard a song from the Yes album on XM radio yesterday, and it was one I had never heard before, and it was pretty cool.
Interesting. Yeah, I would definitely be down for listening to the 90126 album again.
Yeah.
I can't remember only 3 songs from it. The
But you liked
Changes.
it?
Yeah, the Making Changes, that song. And then Leave It is my favorite Yes song of all time. I don't think we'll ever hear one that's better than that. That's an amazing song. And then, of course, Owner of a Lonely Heart, which I think is a great song. A very good 80s song. that I put up there. I think of that kind of in the same vein as I Wear My Sunglasses at Night. That Naked Eyes song, that Naked Eyes band that I love, that does Always Something There to Remind You.
Oh, sure.
And they also do Private Eyes, or not Private Eyes. Yeah, Private Eyes. No, that's Simon. No, that's not. No, not Private Eyes. No, stop. That's Hall & Oates. Don't. They do the song Promises, Promises.
Oh,
that one.
yeah, sure.
But there are like certain like not one hit wonders. Yes isn't a one hit wonder, obviously, but it's interesting because that's the only song of theirs I knew before we started this. So are they a one hit wonder?
I mean, they kind of came back and had one big hit. Again.
Yeah, but like
And maybe they had another 80s hit.
That's
I'm
an
not
interesting
sure,
thing.
but-
Let us know. Yes fans, are they ever regarded as a one hit wonder from the 80s? That's really
and
curious.
Also, do Yes fans just dismiss all of that stuff?
Yeah,
as,
that's
like,
a good point too.
commercial crap.
Yeah, because I would be really curious to like hear their like. I really like the '80s sound of that album. So like, I wonder if they have like, when did they switch to transition over to like synth stuff like that?
Yeah. Because they
that
were
would
putting
be
out albums. Like
Yeah.
I have that album from '78.
right.
and
I have the one from '80.
Yeah.
And the one from '78 looks like an '80s album. The one from
Yeah.
'80, the whatever I was showing earlier, this one. This doesn't really look like an '80s album. It looks like their '70s stuff. So maybe
Right,
maybe they would do like a pop album and then we looked at the lengths of their albums before, but maybe they started switching, doing more of a prog album, more pop album, prog album, pop album. I don't know, but let me see if it says the song lengths on here, just out of curiosity. It does not.
This is a dumb question. Are they still around?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. But let me look on Spotify here just real quick. Then we'll. Oh shoot! I'm not on Yes anymore. I got to go back to Yes. Hold on. It'll be worth it. Okay. So they just released
Yeah.
Mirror
2023.
to the Sky, a new album in 2023.
Yeah. Okay.
It looks like. But as I go down, I want to see the lengths of their songs in the 80s. Let me see. They've been consistently releasing music. So So Drama, which is the album I have, the first track is 10 minutes long. Hold on, this is the deluxe edition. Okay, so the first track is 10 minutes, then there's a 1.5 minute, then 6 minutes, 8 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. So that to me doesn't seem like too much of a 80s. It depends. I don't know what it looks like or what this sounds like. Their album from before that is called Tormato from 1978.
Oh.
The one you have is 77, going for the one.
Yeah.
That is 5.5, 7, 5.5, 8, 6, 3.5, and 15. So that's long songs on that one.
Okay.
But then when you go up to 90125, you have 4.5. Hold on, this is deluxe edition. Hold on, I think the deluxe edition is the only one on here. That's the version I have. So I think Hearts is the last track. Let me look. Hearts is the last track. So there's 9 tracks on the original album, and you have Owner of a Lonely Heart's 4.5, 5 minutes, 5.5, 6:20. That's their next single changes. Then 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and then the final track is 7 minutes 38 seconds.
Okay.
So that's a little bit more manageable, but I don't know.
Yeah.
And then their album after that was a big album for them called Big Generator. And that has Love Will Find a Way, which is one of their biggest songs.
Oh, okay, sure. So
Right.
They had multiple hits in
the 80s, I guess.
Mid-late 80s.
Yeah. And then it looks like when Union, they had an album in 1991 that has no song with 1 million plays. I'm just looking at Owner of a Lonely Heart has 321 million plays. But I think it's their biggest. Yes Shows, that might be a live album. Yeah, that has.
Yeah.
Drama has 1 million, 2 million plays. I'm just kind of scrolling down, seeing if there's not a Wondrous Stories from the album you have with the naked dude on it. That has almost 7 million plays.
Okay.
Their song Wondrous Stories. So maybe that's a bigger one. But okay, so we can call that good for this. I think that we did a good job at kind of explaining how we felt, and I liked the album a lot. I would say I would rather listen to this album than Fragile, I think.
I would rather listen to Fragile.
Interesting. I mean, that's interesting. I don't think
But maybe it's just because I love Roundabout so much.
right. And
don't know.
I was impressed by that, but I had no preconceived notion of it, so it wasn't like something that really stuck out to me.
Sure.
But I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool. I like this album a lot, and I'm excited what we should do next. We'll try to make a decision based on some of the comments and how many views this gets, and we'll just kind of see how we feel about it. Until next time, everybody, thank you so much, and we will see you then.